Welcome everybody to another language class with Ron, and what a beautiful mild day it was, and I hear more mild temperatures are coming this week, so welcome. And it looks like we have Dave, Rennie, Roy, Janet, and Ron are joining us tonight. So let's get settled and make sure you have all your coffees and your teas and your pops and your waters and whatever else, and so in for the evening. So we'll talk soon. Enjoy. Over to you, Ron.
Okay, honey, bonjour. We take me now pitch of Hogamic, Pin Diam. Do we take him all the pitch about quit? No, no. Actually, with some Minagibiak. P. Much time. Model.
Oh,
Begin to much.
okay. All right. So, nunga eawang, these baktoga gizis, March. Daswe, jugadwaswe, 16th, is it 16th today? Oh, tataha. Madaswak, nishtana, shanish, 2022. You guys didn't write down how to say 8 o'clock. You must have that memorized. No. Shaswe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 o'clock. What's that?
Shaso Sabagane.
Subagane. Transmute Subagane. Mionangone Manda enjoying and many are enjoying. Enjoying
Our community.
our community, Sogging, and who works in the community. Tonight's topic. That's what. No. Ellen, we bizarre, come on. Bizarre. But you must. Oh. Yeah, ten new. Oh, yeah. Oh, isn't it? You mama would do. Yeah.
I don't see the queen in here.
Oh, we should.
Queen.
Oh. Mascot magazine is not kind of Makuan or a piece hogging school getting Bunjaba. Do a second. Aha. We just won't be Sogging. A rough outline, description, map showing Sogging territory.
There's one underneath. That other thing, your territory, with all the treaties.
There's no book here. Pin down, near number 29 is the cutting good for piggy or Sogging 28 Chief's Point. Or again, the Q-Sound King with the Tomory number
60.
60.
Hunting grounds.
Maybe he could explain this treaties.
There was 5 treaties in our area. That's along with Saugeen and Maywash, Big Poker. Treaty 45.5. That was land down to Goderich along the shoreline, cross over to Orangeville Way, Arthur, yeah. And then over towards the Collingwood area. Yeah. And then half-mile strip was treated. That was from Southampton to Owen Sound. Owen Sound Treaty when what is now Neoshingaming, people moved from Owen Sound to there. Colpoys Bay Treaty. And the other one, the 1.5 million acres, the big one, the Saugeen Peninsula, the big one. So there's 5 treaties, and it's changed throughout the course of history what our territory was and is now. Well, where we live actually, Saugeen.
Much stuff.
So that second map there. That second map shows Saugeen in particular. Oh. Okay.
Alan.
Mishkenunga, Ejnanguk, and Dion. It's that triangle. And the shoreline of Lake Huron. So from that larger map, this is only a small area of where we reside today in our traditional territory known as Saugeen. Number 29 is the number that we were given by the government. Mishkan Nondan Miknang. There is Kings Highway 21. Yamagmikan Nishtana. Yamagmikan Nishtana.
On the Highway 21. Yeah.
And that cuts right through our village area. So we have residences and homes on both sides of that highway. So however that was determined to cut directly through an area where we lived, that was through some surrender, I guess, eh? Well, yeah, when the highway came through, they took, I think, 66 feet right through the reserve, so they didn't have to bypass the reserve. Before it did, the highway went around Denny's Dam. The bridge was that way to Southampton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it was a direct route along the Indian Trail, right? Right to Southampton to Owen Sound. So it was just, they just came in and did it. It wasn't a real. There wasn't like a surrender, you know how hydro comes in now, with those little agreements. Okay. All right, then we have an area called French Bay Road, which travels from Highway 21 all the way down towards the Sauble area and meets up with County Road 13. So French Bay Road. Mtagosh, Wequet, Mikan is French Bay Road. Scotch Settlement Road, further east on Highway 21, travels from Highway 21 again, meets up with French Bay Road, Mtagosh, Wequet, Mikan, and then combines and goes to Chigmi, to County Road 13. County Road 13 travels along, follows the shoreline, but there are cottages that are on the shoreline itself. County 13 travels along that way and then goes through to Chickabing to Sable Beach.
Mostly leased land, eh?
Yeah, so we have leased land that we own and control in here. So those are the three main Mikanan that are in our community. And we have other smaller roadways that branch off to meet those main roads. One down here, it's called just north of the village area is called Nawash Road. Further along is Kiweden, and it travels from County 13 across to Scotch Settlement, and actually does go beyond Scotch Settlement Road. Pashwood Drive is up here. Then there's Bagida'waad Road, which cuts from 21 and meets up with French Bay Road. And Cameron Drive is our main street in our community.
Nickname Sesame Street.
Nickname Sesame Street. I'm sure every community, Anishinaabe community, has a Sesame Street. So those are our roads.
Okay, there we are. Saugeen River again. There's no more.
Okay. Munpigatek ZB. Saugeen River that runs along down here. And that was one of the Anishinaabemowin Munpi. Bagida'waad. Gimijiang Gigwang. Mishka was a travel way before roads came along and vehicles. So Saugeen River was a main, like the 401 travel way, and headed out to Lake Huron. And that is the meaning of Saugeen. It means where the water flows out the mouth of the river.
That Saugeen, buddy. Saugeen, yeah. When you come to an opening. Then there was that other one there talking about Saugeen, that Saugeen, Saugeen. That was.
Oh,
that must be Marie.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on, we got one more.
We got an elder coming in. We're just gonna hold off for a sec here.
Spirit. Well,
Is that your grid?
Yeah.
Sorry.
For the laptop. Oh, come around, Marie. I'll come and get you. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
How was Shatner?
Cushion on the wrap.
Side with your rough
Yeah.
end, it's gonna-
We'll have to get another chair, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, sure,
Yeah. Oh, Bobby, one we be
Want to get another chair?
Is that piano? Ellen,
Yes.
there's pictures over here on the table.
When they talked about where's the,
Well,
It actually, it said it's on
that Second Avenue, that was the original road, eh? To go into town,
Yeah.
that, on here.
Trouble?
Second Avenue, that's the original road that we traveled to go into town.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You were walking that?
There was a question in the chat. They were just wondering if the map that you were showing is different than the one that Janet sent around. And Annie, bonjour, Marie.
No, the two small ones are the same. The big one that they were talking about, I couldn't get that small enough to send to you.
Okay, that's big much.
I could send you one later. I think I got one on that stick somewhere.
Just finished
Oh, yeah.
talking about the river.
That would be great. Big much.
All right, so Marie is here now.
Yeah. You went, my daughters went, maples, make some maple syrup.
Oh,
Yeah, and they have to go back to get their,
Kikkonsak.
Kikonsuk. Weer gewoon zo, mama. Je kunt wat.
you went up.
Oh, they rubbed some on the. Gima, Nokwen.
Gemawin, Noknagawin.
Gima Noknagawin. That's our chief and council Gayo. Noknagawin and Mother Bajikoda. And then our secretary is
You begin in
GB Nina or Qua. You get the ones that take the notes, our secretary. Be this gay nurse, Skikeo Nakwa. Miss Skikeo Nakwa, Gazin Cosgay, our nurses. Miske Nene, Miske Nene is our doctors. Skikunin. Yeah. And then storekeeper. Dawel Nene is our storekeeper. And then our road worker is Meekin
Miknakenin.
Nene. And then our carpenter is
Muktasonin.
Muktaso Nene. Muktaso Nene and get the
Yeah.
Is the farmer. And then next is it, or do I keep going? Murray.
Nita? Government authority leadership is Gima Win, and building is walk in the gun. Town is Odena. Administrative office is Gima Mimi. Eight office. Gima
Something.
office is office.
So Janet's gonna go.
Oh, okay.
Restaurant, we snew Wigamic.
We still gimmick.
Church, Nama, you Wigamic.
Namelgamic.
The store, the shop, a trading post, the way of Wigamic. A grocery store, we snow in, that makes sense. Huh? The way of Wigamic. The post office. Now, Chippewa Hill, we did actually have a post office at one time. Mazinigan
Mazinagun.
near Wigamic. a school, Gikino,
Kinabad.
Wigamick,
Mhm.
a dance hall, Nima, Wigamick,
Mhm.
the fire hall. I'm not sure what that one would be.
Nee.
Skoda to Ogamick. Put the fire out.
I don't know, that's a fire. isn't it?
Yeah.
Sinds dan nee, ik maak het man nee. En de kies compagnie, saging nou. Maar de fire hall, man, ik nou ja, ik skulle om de mat, achter de water ging nog even. Ik go nee, ik zie ook on the health center. That's new in the community within what 20, 30 years. We got gas bars, 3 gas bars competing in the community, craft stores, and then the elders building, and then the women's shelters.
Hot shops.
Craft shops.
Hot.
Oh, right, no. Me. Eu me esforço da way.
We got that new transition on some of what you would call that. That's
They
new.
gave it a
First-
name too. I can't remember what they called it.
Yeah, That's the first-
Wapshkinimkikwa.
Is
That
what
was
they
the
called it?
name, that was the name of one of the ones that OD'd. They were
Oh,
in
so-
honor of her.
Not Bagida'waad is for the.
OW office, that's what
Yeah.
they've called it.
Is it in here?
Yeah, but
Cocktail,
it's Shamgal Gamik
Ocean,
is the general name.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you
they
got-
named it Nadmagal Gamik.
Daycare schools, come again, here niche. Benodig, we snap him what, you can walk us all, you king, we snap him what. They closed the one thing, or they closed
They're
both of
going,
them.
they're going.
Yeah, I guess that's the plan that.
That's too bad, yeah. Took a Anishinaabemowin.
Bring that up at the meeting on the 24th.
Why are they closing it, do you know?
They want to amalgamate, I don't know.
Or put them together?
Yeah, but I think it's good where it is.
I think so too.
Mhm. Yeah, the first one, and that was the older daycare, Bagida'waad is what it was called.
Mm.
And then they opened the second one was Anishinaabemowin. It was supposed to be full immersion at that time. Banujin Gamik Dash Yijin Kade. You know, they're talking about the amalgamation of the two of them.
Are you guys in cutting the other one?
Which one? First one or second?
Yeah, the first one.
Now you got me. Bagida'waad.
I don't think it should be called that.
Yeah.
Double over there.
Wasn't a
Oh, all right.
babysitting service.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was initially called though, so I
Yeah.
don't know where the name had come from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trinaki Majigan Mamini is talking. Chickamega, they are, yeah, Chickaming, because young with it. 5 miles, eh?
Mhm,
Beach.
mhm.
We got 2 beaches, and that one in Opinion. Frenchman's Bay is the cutting, but
But that beach, I've seen it on Facebook where they were naming the different lakes. And they were calling Lake Superior Chigmi.
mhm.
But I grew up with my mom calling our beach Chigmi,
Yeah.
which is Lake Huron.
Mhm.
Chigmin Gajamin. Go because min. That's what she'd say, Chigmi.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just I think that's reference to
The beach
the
or
beach,
shoreline?
the shoreline.
Yeah, like no pond of water,
Mm,
or the inlet, I guess.
20% of the fresh water is right out here.
Mhm.
yeah,
And,
so
we're not looking after it as good. We need to look after it. So gonna win that on here, and beach.
Minquem, do Minquem. In the world, like when you look at the whole world, our Great Lakes that we're on are the largest body of fresh water in the whole world. So we have a deck of quandamen.
Mayor's at near. Before we had near administration office. We had a community hall, community dance hall.
Nima. Nima diogamik.
We the shin imaji young mapu on the carpet chakaring manda.
Gimau gamik.
Gamogamic administration. That's the same thing as a band administrator, right? Anishinaabemowin.
The office. Jibi Gelgamik. Okay. So the office, Jibil. When we Jibil, that's when we write down information. Jibil. So that's where our written information is, and that information is really, really important. So they called it the Jibi Gelgamik. The welfare office, or the OW office, Ontario Works, Shungelgamik, because it's a place that helps people to eat for those necessities of life. Our one here in the community was called Nadamagelgamik. Is a place of help. Post office, Mizinagelgamik is the letters.
Box's old store. They had the
Oh yeah.
grocery store. It's almost like a can I go get a walk my?
Yeah.
Can I go medium?
Yeah. Had the IGA on the main street and so that. What they know?
Okay, yeah.
Suck the one. Suck the one.
Well, boxes had good bologna. And then the church, we have initially, a long time ago that I remember, we had the main church in the community that was the United Church. That was the Wesley United Church in the main village area.
Catholic.
And then there was Catholic Church and Scotch Settlement. We got Pugio, eh?
It's church at the near Scotch Corner.
The Baptist church.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Oh, long
yeah,
time
that was a
ago.
long time
Oh,
ago.
long time
At the
ago.
library.
Oh, the library.
Remember the
Yeah.
one that burnt down at the cross at the library?
No, the one that beside Perry, that's another church.
That's, yeah. So now we have more churches in the community. So there's different ones. There's a Baptist church. There's the Latter-day Mormon, and then there's another one, the one that Rita has. Baptist, another. Okay, that's a Baptist. There's Pentecostal. That's the one in Scotch. So we have a number of churches in the community. Namelgamik, places of praying, is what they were called. But in the past few years, we've lost the United Church in the village area to fire.
Same as French Bay.
And the French Bay one was also lost to fire
67.
in 1967. We don't have a school in the community. Kinomagelgamik, that's what I would call it. Kinomagelgamik is the word here. However, we did have 3-day schools in which closed in the 60s.
French Bay was the first Indian day school, then the Scotch Settlement.
Mhm.
The village school.
Yeah. They came around 1868 is when they were formed, when they came in with the churches.
There was one other school that was, it's not mentioned, that was at the United Church where they signed the treaties, 1854. I don't know the name of that church, but that they got burned down then.
Or what?
At the church something. You know where the flagpole used to be,
Right?
right off to the side of that.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Methodist church.
That's
Before,
Methodist.
yeah,
Yes.
before they amalgamated into the United Church.
Yeah, no, can I go on? You go kill the knuckle. This is another one that we forgot to put in there, fisheries. And the person, the people that work in there, biologists.
Okay.
And my advocacy for healing office.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, another one there. Yep. And training center.
Mhm.
All
Yo.
right.
ACYPS?
Yeah, we stopped recording. Any guys have?
There was a pause.
There was a pause for the cause. Yes, we have Anishinaabeg Child and Youth Prevention Services. We have a women's shelter. A training center, training and employment center,
Youth Center.
youth center that was named in memorial of a youth that had passed away. It's a Aaron Root Memorial Center, Memorial Youth Center. We have a recreation center that's in memoriam of a previous chief, which is the James Mason Memorial Cultural Recreation Center. I'm trying to go around the
Library?
streets.
Library.
Yeah, Saugeen Library it's in French Bay, and it was one of the day schools. It was the French Bay Day School, and they transformed it into and added on to it to be Saugeen Library. I know that library also operates our language program.
Yeah.
We have a roads department, works department, water department.
Oh, yes, the main one, yeah.
In the health center, there's many different programs.
Yeah.
ACYPS.
Children's services. And also we have a new governance building. And that holds many different offices, membership, housing, lands and leasing, chief and council, of course. So many different,
Positions.
yeah.
Or program.
We have lots and lots of different administrative positions in the community, as well as those that are social programs,
Education's in there.
education.
Yeah, and same as a new program for inherent jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Child welfare.
Child welfare, yeah, inherent jurisdiction, because where our community is currently moving towards recovering our jurisdiction for the care of our children out of the hands of the Children's Aid Society. Economic development. We also have the old Indian Agency building where the Indian agent used to work out of. That is has been transformed into
Wellness center.
center.
Members.
Yeah, membership in the governance. Court worker, we have family court workers.
Band reps.
Recreation.
OPP, but they're at the firehouse.
A satellite kind of
Yeah.
office, eh?
Yeah.
Firehouse.
Oh,
and we have CanCom security.
We used to have a police force here,
Anishinaabeg.
Anishinaabeg Police Force. We need to get them back in this community.
Yes,
because
we
of the
do.
things that are going.
Yep.
In Dajik, Anishinaabeg zeggen ze ook. We zaten dus zelf coaching.
Or elders building.
Elders building. Oh, yes, we have an elders building. How it has 8 units, 8 apartment units. And our home and community care program, their main base is out of the health center, but their programming for elders takes place a lot of times in the elders building. They have a big common room in there. We have a food bank. And our food bank, under the food bank, operates a community garden program. Bagida'waad.
Yeah.
We had at the Wesley United Church, we had an amphitheater, a natural amphitheater that had been constructed by members of our community with the guidance and help of Reverend Earl Stotesbury back in the 70s, eh?
Back in the day,
Yeah.
yes.
And it was our own people that built that. And currently, it's being restructured with a program where members of our community are learning stone working.
Masonry.
So that's currently under construction. And that oversees the Saugeen River. Nim na gumate.
Mhm. Kaya wala yung wicked. Story.
What?
Kaya wala wicked.
Oh,
Story or anything.
all stories. You mean about community or?
Sure.
King.
Oh, there's a Shikoda.
Mhm.
Shikoko no Gokishawa. He's about, I would just say, it's like 6 o'clock.
Zizbak. We just did that last week.
I know. I think-
Zizbak Dokan
Oh,
is
yeah.
this the maple
Yeah.
trees, the area of the
Yeah.
maple trees.
They're gonna try the white birch bark.
Oh, the birch.
Yeah.
Birch sap.
But the just said it's not ready yet.
Oh.
Yeah. But they're started on the maple.
Mhm.
They're doing pretty good, you know, but they went quite late today. That's up coming late. We were supposed to have that party at 5. And they were in the bush, putting their sap into a bigger, I guess, pails and making a fire.
Keep the bishkama badawanan.
Uh-huh.
She had a birthday today.
Yeah.
Mm.
Give me
It
snowak.
was a special day because that's the one that had the COVID. And she
Oh.
had it really bad.
Oh.
She thought she was gonna pass, you know.
Oh,
That's how
goodness.
bad it was. But she never got the vaccination.
Mhm.
Anyway, but that's why we had to celebrate it because today was, we didn't have the lockdown, we could, have groups.
Family
coming,
gathering. Yeah.
Gatherings. So that's what's been good about, you know. It was a terrible time when we were in isolation. Yeah, terrible time. Even the children, I could notice that. Yeah. Take us off.
Mhm.
Even to play now, to social interact. They're very afraid to be amongst their peers. But hopefully, children are very resilient. I think, we've been through a lot of us, people saw being, through the years, we've had a lot of problems with suicides and things in our families. So that's very traumatic for me anyway, because it was in my own family. But, the time of healing, I'm happy to have lawyers that, have this healing in our community. And it doesn't have to be fast-paced, it don't have to be, to fit this little agenda or to get this much done. It was, she does it at her own pace. And as the client or the person that's asked for the help, for them to come to her. I'm very thankful. Jimmy Lynch.
Mhm.
And yesterday we started. No, when did we start that? What's today? Tuesday today? Getting mixed up in days. We started Michikawanan.
Oh.
Yeah. So we Nunga Wabang. What's Wabang? And then how do you say the next day after that? What's Wabang? So this week, Tuesday to Friday, we have a member of our own community that is in, and she shares the teachings along with what she is showing on how to Michikawanan Bagida'waad. Those ones. So yeah, so we started that today. So that's a part of that healing too.
They're so nice, I can't even wear them. I made them last year. Oh, they're so warm and I just can't bring myself to get them dirty. And it's not good to have them on display either. They should be used. My grandson wanted to board them. I heard you had good knit I said, oh, no, they're not going on a skidoo.
Yeah.
Smell like gasoline. But anyway, they're
Yeah.
very beautiful mittens.
Mhm, yeah.
He's on not on.
So
Yeah.
now-
Yeah, we both did that.
Que in the gigo. Que guna. Eshna ge bad man. Sa batti neta ki bad zoom. Ki bad zoom. Man pej naguk nangum. Kawing kagana option even ma git test no. You want to share gabat the mata go man pn tanguk. People gay when gonna gay chama quendas young the tagun man when they're gonna get to the mods young and I'll get you with 1p. Chigana is not good not gonna go as way book 1p. Me gabat the mangi nungum keep a joke ma or they nucky which no go in or when it's gets to gain bung wabung. You know, get ni gunning to not being in with. You just gonna get give what the man gonna get ni or of the wasa ni gunning cannot be. I got 1p nungum of the quarter wasi or yeah. Some when the man gonna was this game. We go get can go get in with come out you salmon ni gunning. I'm away and jikna seaman here. You get some when the man gonna is websing Skinny's Dick. Snaz bedeng ook na na kadap na mata or adapt na matium Jim skikosh na wat de snonio. Mi de say when the gonna yo is webs it. Mi na go am dang measure ma benis na be. Mi ge quiz west on na in what you na the mo is not told you on king to get one das young. Can go again with you one pain die young can go the mass up the day and kawam the man and again no me the skragi the mood or young you still warning but kai when the map seaman ma zam zam sagragi wiska sangut kawam the man yeah but they could get you can other mads in your king non daumen get gas webs it we you just see to bezin da game can go what gig the jig no when the game on the chime doing game on the end dying what team can again on we when a game when the man you can dying on po on the that 2 million acres that were me got in or Mukwenamong up to Ganage, which may maba Kabajat ma, which may get the bandana can my end. I when he Mukwen Mago Simon, you Panagian Stot Mabo Kabajajik. Long which may we the bandana can ever go. You're just gonna get in with Tayo Bungi Mondio, but the Monganum Kachago Young Nageo.
Kan nam nik maar thuis nog niet meer ja.
Yeah.
Gishpin gego joya wat.
You're just gonna get me Mondio, Mokwen the Mong Mondio, Nibi, when they're gonna get to Mokwen the Mongio Chibito Nong Sage when. Not gonna get go ma. Chicas up my geek, Kibis gas up my view there. Pukush Mukmi, Wabanung, Nikio, Yibizgazoko, Gikwan, Kichigazwat Mumpi. We just cannot get Kishnatstrona Waki and when Ma Kandajik Ma Gigwek, Kai Ma Yasiok, you know, get grown smelts, Kawa gave by us, game on Pigabo. These game on the when Monday on the Anishinaabemowin, Anishinaabem Kane. When it's a Maquend among Mondio and dying gale. When I can all gay her to get on the manjo. Top and up to get out, not one more bomb is in Butcher. I was a rush been done.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's you just can all gay, you weed my way, no gum ha. When it's kissed again, but so about in it while we mean Guam Monday Jim Skikush. Of the Koge, go Maquin Mom any guns or a Kansas or as a Kilian Bunny your elders, our elders. Of the Maquin Mom go gay go, me go gay Benojiak. Mobberskini Jikureta Ginwam Jigazuk. Kai wan Ganagi, Maquin Masik, our elders, Benagi Benojin. Igna, Bijajikin, our youth that are coming. We got to get on the mat, go Mondium, Jim Skikushe about Pate, by young Bookman Pio. He, good in it, Penang, good, Pede, good in the Pedanguk. Here's a Namaton Genio, Maquin Manio. Guy the Ben dogs is known on Pio. You want the Onishni, you Onishnamin, Avio Skinizjik. I just came on the yo when they're gonna we top the Zina and the is webzine. The question not the mom and Suiva. Over there, there's gonna get in with the Kabin Zamins when they're gonna get in with Chamaquan Mike, not the more work who gave go in key. Yours not got a on the you want the not quite smart, Gashem the torture, but not the more long, not getting in with you. So not one on Kinago gave my tango. When they're gonna give a charge of Tonang or Monday Skike, you go game of Lori and Kito the Latin or the Skike on gay or Sonata Green game on Pio. You go game on the Abdek Gay, the Nata Mudsman Yoniki, Chuid Mogwa, Giboezoka and Ninwoka last Saturday. And there was 15 men that were there, that was told. You just could argue, you not the morning, oh, then walk you on the care to barn stone or what can I get on to McQuenda's what we will gain not something, not the money gain on. It's not good. Can I go good? It's not good. We go game on there, can I go on and PHB got and go to be not the margin go game on the Keep when they're gonna give Monday when it's a maybe they go and PO in dying. The one end on Monday Zagin now. Zagidwin. You know, Zagye go Monday Nibi McQuendawang Monday keep going man pim beashing. Get on the man Kinaway across Canada and the States. We got Bagida'waad now near the water. All waters there. And some of the reserves down south in Rice Lake, I think it was. And they thought they were going to starve them out, but really they put them in where all the medicines are.
Sugo.
You just got to then jig them on, sucking out gale. You get them on jigoing ma. Kind of much logic. Get them on jigoing when you get them on the mat yoshkote. Oh, yeah, but go on the yo top and on one day. The mock calling you on the king. You get your top of the mat cable one day. And I was just on snuggy. We're still practicing what our ancestors had left us. Because we don't see them physically, they're watching us through spirit that we're doing. You'll dream about them and they'll tell you certain things. They'll tell you about medicine. They'll tell you about whatever that needs to be taking place. You just gave on the yo abadek when Madzaman. Ma is Madzi. Like I was there myself. Shigi Wapas in the Shnabe Madzi again. What's gonna go and just get but I was foolish. I was a foolish young man. It's like I didn't care. So I understand a little bit of where our younger generation is. Yeah, it's like when we turn our lives around, but we have to go through that wandering stage, and we're stuck there for a while until we turn it around. And it was like I guess a good 20 years of my life that I spent foolishly. Yeah. So, but it was good. It was good because for that, what like Laurie said, Gawak Das is like you come to learn where you were at one time, but you turn that around to help your younger generation because you have that understanding where they're at. And that's the healing part that we need to do within our communities, well, communities, but we're in a place of where we focus in Sagi when we're it's like where our ancestors are looking at us and that they're still practicing our language. They're hanging on to that little piece of the things that's going to help us get through this. Yes, it's hard, but they had a harder life than we had. But the life that we have it's a faster pace than what they had. Today we just jump in the car and we take off, we go 100 kilometers down the road.
It's almost coming to an end because of the prices of the gas.
Yeah. He's been wamdam young as you ever. We have a Scabin meanwhile.
Yeah.
Because we got Masayang.
They go banana or provisional sheep.
Horses for hire.
Yeah.
Sure, maar als ik als je op en neer, ben nog tegen dat ze. Wie is zo man dat is ik one. Keep it the question with it. We need the nose win. Nee, niet gazen. We spon pio kena. En when dogs dik nam de wat. Want pio niet gazen je. Nisnabe ne gazen maar na benodig. We set up na wat. Ik moet pio ne king meer benodig. King, Pips Katma. Me, okay, she can't cook you up, Mamma, and me, mom, and one of the wind. Yeah, just me off. Can I give us to get see, okay, when it came, me, not going to bet you'll be no, you can just one is the car, which means go.
Yeah.
Measurement money. You can never change the mistakes that you've made in the past, but they can most certainly learn from the mistakes they have made.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And we need to learn from that. But Lorica could, we're going ahead now. All of a sudden, we're going backwards now.
Mhm.
Aren't you come with me now?
Mhm.
Not go Israel for Fiona King. We're going to say one more thing there. You know, and Mandanak, Gimayak, with a Nandabot. A bidek was a warm done a one as young Pina and the Pier. Mamma Pinogia, the Kushnoto digger. When much of Tengokyo, when again watching system what. Too much can't look big on the king. Mopir Shume go as young Squyan, the king now walk Squyan, the king to the Jam. Michel, one is no what you. Not gonna go Peter Captain Gokning, Schusgening. Not go knock my rookma. Jim Skickers, maar we bieden geen ook. Maar ik ken ook. Om ik had wat, ook moet wat. Nog snel gewoon snel zo, heel zo ook. Dus is een kasjenaio de king we gaan de zien. We en ik gaan dan met man was het man zien nog. Okay. We learn from our mistakes. When it changed again. Up to mommy Quinn Mama Donis na Audra, isn't it? Because in Kikyo and the King. When Pinoti chicken one to cause what? When yeah, chicken what, yeah, what? The king of Benjamin, the king. Kai this is no Majizaka what the was. Yeah, keeping that so scabby what. Monsieur, no, schreeuwen, want de moord. Maar we zijn niet, we dat zien. Een blik op koord is een kanning ook. Had je women, je bedenkt ook je. Om moet een man. Je zit dat de man. Je spant kun je kujing zo toinja. Ik dat toen. Wie is zo? De magie in. Kijk gewoon en zien en daar. When they up and be subscribing in your thing. Or the glass in the king of the buyer. When they up subscribing, might be. Isn't she the king? And up to you with the Mauricio, yeah, we on the king.
Squirman Peter.
Kijk hoe ik. Kijk hoe.
You get me started. No, I think we've covered quite a bit. And yeah, it's been really good.
I think our thoughts are turning towards, because it's that time of renewal that's coming. Yeah. No, come in.
No.
Yeah. So I think that's where our energies and our thoughts and our feelings are going towards, is that renewal. And that's the trees are telling us it's that time for that sap. And we talked about the maple syrup and sap last week. So within our being, our spirit, it's reminding us that it's that time, that season. So within ourselves and our families and our communities, that to remember to reconnect again with the earth and the water and all the creation. Because as life moves on, you know, we all go through difficulties. There's not Domin Peachin. This is that time of year that we've been given. We much time minwa to start that remembering who we are and who we are as part of creation, and reconnect and renew. So, you know, we'll be, again, we mentioned that last week, those of us that carry bundles, you know, we go through our own processes and ceremonies of renewal in the ways that we come to understand. So that time is here.
Shungamen.
Yeah. Miigwech Wendamen.
Well, for next week, then, would it be appropriate to, talk about kind of the
Feasting.
Ludems, clans, the structure, and the
Mm.
meaning of such? Personal,
Okay.
appropriate?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got any funny stories?
Not today.
Not Well, only in the way it goes in on people.
Oh, bagajishin mo eh. Kwanojishin.
That's how you go.
Gigo. Story.
Well, lots of stories.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
wait.
sitting here all night. Funny story.
Yeah.
We're putting her on the spot.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I just need to think through, because sometimes I just laugh out loud, some of these things are crazy.
Yeah.
I just think about those little stories, man,
Yeah.
that's all.
Alec, when he played baseball,
Oh, yeah.
he was a good ball.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was. I finally found a picture of him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, somebody had it, and everybody, I think Alex in there, because that's the only picture I have of him. I know Bill had some Bill Solomon, but I never got I don't know what happened to them. I think he went up in the house, right? Caught fire or something. But we lost a lot of pictures like that, like the old people that used to live in our community. And I keep thinking back to them when I used to visit them and we were just little children. Yeah, they always welcomed us into their homes.
Mhm.
Yeah, we don't visit as much anymore.
No.
And what little they had, they shared. They
Yeah.
shared.
Oh, yeah. Just Tuesday nights now, I think.
Tuesday nights, we had to go watch. We used to call that Bagida'waad,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We would visit and then that's where we'd find out what was going on
Yeah.
within the community and how we could help. Who's in need of whatever.
Oh, I
you
know stories about Paul Williams. We used to have a concert over at the United Church,
Mhm.
and all I call them dignitaries, they were counselors. The council would get up and do their little do whatever happened during the year or what was coming up. So it was Paul Williams. Oh my goodness, that guy could talk. Everybody kept looking at the time. And then they said, "Oh, we got to pay off the yeah," because everybody stopped, and then that would just get it going again. Oh, well, then you can. Jim and Dad, would be a long trial. And then he tells a story, then people clap. Oh, we're gonna have to pay off. He'd get up. Remember him. So that was his name.
Schodenebik.
Schodenebik.
Wow.
Paul Williams.
Gibangiala.
Yamagiala.
What's your
Counselor, but not a chief, I don't think.
You know, and the geek the infinite.
What do you say? Jag skulle inte. Aha. Aš gumna gigish tamen mon pimina. Yok çimi gotski bizim doyan.
Now that we're in daylight savings time, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the right time? Yeah.
Didn't move their clock, but.
They did do that at the office. I was climbing on the chair, did my own.
Come to think of it, I need to do that. Yeah.
Mhm.
There was a bit of a chat happening in the chat on the computer. I don't know if anybody can take a look at it, but they were discussing again what the word for a fire, the fire hall would be.
Okay.
Okay.
And also talking about the place where you conduct activities related to maple sugar making. So Elizabeth was suggesting a few different things. I don't know if I'm going to say them right. I'll try. Skwode Daban Gamig for a fire truck building.
Daban Gamik.
And then Elizabeth, I don't know if you're there, if you could, if you wouldn't mind coming on to say it.
Okay, sugar making shack. Where we see sugar making shack Keong. So Keong is a place where you conduct activities related to that maple sugar making. So I would say Keong Gamik or Gamagons if it's a little wee shack.
Okay, good.
And for the fire, Shkude Daban is a fire truck. So Gamik tells about the place where the fire truck would be.
It's a train. That's how we say it.
Yeah.
Train.
Train, Shkudedaban, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I am Nasab Gino and Don Manda train. Daban.
To watch the coal.
You'd have to have something in there about Atta putting out the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last one was Asgab Witadmin. I heard it being said, but what does that mean? That's Asgab Witadmin.
Yeah, it meant about the gathering of people where it was more of a form of information sharing at a time when we didn't have the phones or so people would visit, and that's how information was shared about. So if somebody was sick or somebody needed help at the home, or just what was going on, if anybody knew what was going on in the world. So Osgabatad was just coming together and sharing.
Yeah, because I can hear Gobwe, so we're standing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming together, yeah.
Oh, miigwech.
Is that other one that Amounge Deep? Yeah.
Munchidawat, yeah.
Yeah, looks like they're kind of
The
gathering.
gathering, yeah.
Misa wada Kweshkodadin.
Kweshkodading or the meeting, yeah.
The meeting, yeah.
Kweshkodadman, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you want to crash into each other.
Kweshkodadman. I need a page of Kweshkodading.
Pull them all.
Yeah, they all had their own unique translations, I guess. It's hard to translate the understandings of what those words are. So like when you said Askabatar, and I hear the standing, in there, it's kind of like standing together. Askabatar.
I didn't understand when you were explaining, when you were talking earlier, when you talked about it. So I kind of.
Each one of them, their specific word goes whatever you're talking about at that time. Like, how would I say this now? We question we go must say, we go near chicken one day, okay? We shall be a lot, Yeah. Question what?
Mhm.
This year, the next question would be, why did you call me here? That's what they would say. Yeah. And then that's when the meeting would be starting. Then there's not a word for that one.
Oh,
Kimaya kana yo the king. When you kick it up, you're the king.
mhm.
It's not in general. Talking to know why you're the king, was it? Was it a bottom up? Begin on me go Jim Nam to be on the king, the king. It bottom me on some docket.
Yeah.
It could be on the king that you could get a different meaning to that one.
Mhm.
So is it was me in? What about the man? Now you're the king.
When
Yeah.
is what the budget among next week?
Ah,
Well, then,
do them.
Do them not na.
mhm. Yeah.
Push with the bottom on. Because you only thought so much.
Oh, yeah, bring that story.
How? To me, what?
Miigwech.
Miigwech.
Yeah, who clapped there? What did you? Oh,
Husband Jean.
That's
Husband
what it
Jean.
was. We were trying to remember that. Husband and Jean.
That's the word.
We about a month ago, we were all sitting there trying to figure, how do you say clap your hands? And we were trying to, somebody would try to spit it out and it would come out differently. No, that's not quite it. So we heard it tonight.
Yeah.
Husband and Jean.
I'll go up meanwhile.
There's that. Funny, it's just, it seems to use that.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad I heard it.
For the questions, I guess. So.
Any questions?
Any other questions? Any other questions? Talking about clapping your hands, something we can work on in the next couple of weeks is when we do the hokey pokey. So on that note, I hope everybody has a great week, a great evening. Get some good rest. Milder temperatures are coming. We might be able to put away the winter jackets and winter boots maybe in the coming days. Stay well. And we'll touch base next week, next Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Bye, Mappy.
Oh, good.